Hello friends, welcome back to TechnoGeek SFDC. So we are back with another feature which has been introduced as part of Summer 24 release of the Salesforce. So this feature is related to Lightning Web Components. So till now, as you all were aware that if we have to call a Lightning Web Component via URL, then we have to basically put it in an Aura component and then call the Aura component and passing the parameter in the URL. Okay, but with this particular release, Salesforce has introduced a new feature called URL addressable. So this means now you can call directly the LWC component in the URL, as well as you can pass the parameters also in it. So in this video, we will see how you can call it from the URL, how you can pass the parameter from in the URL, and how you can capture it in the component. Okay, so first of all, so let's say this is one of my lightning web component, a small lightning web component which I have just created, in which you can see that I have imported a new lightning, or you can say a current page reference module of lightning navigation. Okay, so current page reference will store the current page, current URL details as well as current page details. Okay, or you can say the whatever the URL we have, so page reference details this particular modules will store. Now we will call this particular page reference module as an wire. Okay, so as soon as the long component will get loaded, this will get called and it will capture the required information from the URL, you can say from the page. Okay, it will capture the required information. Now followed by, you can see that I have created two @API variables. So as you all aware that @API variable we are basically using to expose a variable outside of Lightning Web Component. Okay, so we have created two at the rate API variable, that is property value and my state. Okay, and then we have to add a getter to basically get the inform. So these two values, or these two parameters basically will be the ones which you will send in the URL. Okay, so these two variables I'm exposing so that I can call this in my variable as a parameter. Okay, and then I have also added one getters, or you can say get, for these particular variables, so where I can capture this. Okay, so what will happen, as soon as my page will get loaded, all the getters will start getting loaded. Okay, and once my getter will load, this is the syntax which I need to basically run. So this dot current page reference is coming from where, the wire method which we had created. Okay, that is at the red wire current page reference, and whatever the outcome is coming, we are storing in a current page reference. Okay, so it is storing all the page information like your URL, what is your parameter, and all those stuffs. Okay, followed by we have something called state, and then we have to provide the name means whatever the API value @API variable we have introduced. Okay, so this is having a predefined syntax, that is C underscore underscore followed by the API name, or at the rate, not API name, it's basically the variable name which I am exposing as part of @API. Okay, C underscore underscore is a must. If you're not putting it, so LWC will not be able to capture it. Okay, so this is how it goes for property value. Similarly, it will go for my state, where you can see that I'm using this dot current page reference dot state dot C underscore underscore my state. So my state is my variable name, and C underscore underscore, which is something which I need to always append. Okay, to capture it from the URL. Now, this is how first we are handling in the JavaScript. Okay, but first and foremost thing, we have added all the code in the JavaScript, but how to make this component exposed so that it can be used in the URL? For that, we will be making, or we will be adding a target in meta file, that is your target lightning underscore URL addressable. Okay, so once you add this tells the system that okay, this LWC is eligible for getting exposed as a URL. Okay, and then there's a small UI where I'm just printing the values which I'm capturing from the URL. Okay, now let's test this, that how it works. Okay, so for example, I'll just give example. So and also once we basically create the component, what will be the URL format? So URL format will be the lightning domain followed by lightning slash cmp slash c underscore underscore your LWC component name. So this is my LWC component name. Okay, followed by, again, if you have to pass a parameter, then you will just add the parameter name equals what is the value. And if you have, let's say, multiple parameters you want to pass, then in that case followed by and then another parameter, and equals its value. Okay, so this is the URL syntax which we will be following, or which we have to follow to call an LWC component directly in the URL. Now I'll just press an enter. So as you can see in the URL, what I had passed, basically I had passed property value as Alok demo and my status Bangalore. Okay, now I will just show you the text which got printed. Okay, so as you can see here, this is telling I am testing current page. This is my property value which I pass, and this is the my state. So this is how we can call this particular this particular LWC from the URL, along with passing the parameters. And then we have just seen that how you can capture those parameters into the LWC component. So we will just go through the code once again, just for a high level to understand. So how we did that, we basically created a URL addressable demo. It's a LWC component. In the meta file, we exposed it via the target, that is lightning underscore underscore URL addressable. Then we came to our JavaScript. In JavaScript, we basically loaded the current page details via current page reference of lightning navigation module. Okay, so current page reference basically stores the current URL and its key pair values. So this is what we have been using to extract the data, or extract the parameters from the URL into LWC. Okay, now then we have two @API variables. These are the variables which we have exposed outside of LWC, so that this can be utilized as a parameter in the URL, and we can pass the values. Okay, and then similarly we have a getter. So getter, in getter basically, then again whatever the current page reference we have loaded as part of wire, from that page reference, by using the c underscore underscore parameter value or parameter key, we can extract the value. One thing to note here, c underscore underscore is a must in front of a parameter to get the value from the URL, otherwise you will not get the value. Okay, so I hope you like this video, you found this informative, and with this feature, now going forward you don't need to use any kind of Aura component to place this LWC and then call it from the URL. Okay, you can directly call it from the URL. Similarly, let's say I'll just give you one more example where if you have to call it from another component, then what you can do is, again, no, we will be using a navigation mixing, lightning navigation. So we have already prepared a video on the lightning navigation. If you want, link will be flashing somewhere on the top, you can just have a look. Okay, so in this, again, you can just use the lightning navigation, and then the you can use the navigate method of the lightning slash navigation module. Okay, so this particular method, that is navigate, here we will be passing the component as a standard component, and followed by, in attribute we are giving the component name, and then in state is basically the key value pair which we added to the component. Okay, so that the current page reference can extract it. Okay, so in the state we are just giving our c underscore underscore property value, the same thing which I told you, that c underscore underscore is a must. Okay, so we are using c underscore underscore followed by property value, and similarly c underscore underscore my state, and then we can just call this method, and automatically new it will navigate to your new component. Okay, we will see that as well. So let's say I'll go to close everything. Okay, so I have this button on click of which I need to navigate to a another. So this is my one LWC component, and on click of this button I need to navigate to another LWC component, for which we had used this method called n- navigate. Okay, and then followed by standard component. So let's see if we click on this what happens. So as soon as I clicked on this, you can see the URL got changed. Okay, and this URL is now having the new LWC component, that is our addressable demo. Okay, so this is how now you can call the LWC, or you can basically pass the LWC in the URL directly. Okay, and here again going forward you can avoid the aura component. Instead of that, you can directly use LWCs along with the URL parameters. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and for contents like this going forward more, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. So with this we will wrap up today's video. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.